Hey there. Hey there, folks. I'm Charlotte, the Gulf Coast Granny, and tonight we're putting together this batch of squares, and I've got 4 more behind me. Let's see how much we can get done putting this blanket together tonight. My daughter and I laid them out and tried to make sure there were no doubles next to each other and there was no color pooling anywhere. There might be a little bit, but I think it's going to look completely random and I think it's going to look good when we're done. But she labeled all the stacks for me and tied them in these little bundles so I wouldn't get confused. So let me know if you can hear me okay. And let's get started on crochet. Ooh, on crocheting these squares together and making ourselves a blanket. Okay, maybe not ourselves, but it's for me. So the first thing I'm going to do, I am going to crochet these together. And I feel like that is a super secure way to put your blankets together. Okay, I got to find the end of this yarn. Aha, there we go. Um, I have 2 blankets in my pantry or my linen closet right now that I made probably 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago. And I crocheted them together just like I'm about to do using a single crochet stitch. And they're still together today. Just as sturdy as they were the day that I made them. Did you see what I did? Oh my goodness. One. Okay. I'm just going in the back loops of each stitch that I made around and making a single crochet stitch. And that is all I'm doing. Let's see. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to change my layout here. There. That's what I wanted to do. I like it when you can see my hands better, and I think my audience likes it better when they can see my hands better. Hey, God's Desire, how are you doing this evening? We're putting together a blanket, and I'm so excited I can't hardly stand it. Uh, I finished crocheting the last of the squares on, I believe it was Friday. It could have been Thursday, but I think it was Friday. And Poppy got home Friday night and weaved in all the ends for me by last night. And so me and my daughter put this thing together and laid it out. We laid it all out on the living room floor. So if y'all see any cat hairs on it, um, well, I can't help that. Hey, Jane Doe, how are you? It's good to see you both. Excuse me. But I'm single. I really like that method of crocheting blankets together. I know a lot of people use a mattress stitch. Hey Marie, how are you? I know a lot of folks use a mattress stitch, but I just really like to do a single crochet. Oh, fiddlesticks, where am I? There I am. And using black yarn was probably not the smartest choice that I could have made tonight. These old eyes um, don't do as well with the black yarn anymore. Shoot, it was hard when I was young, you know. Um, there's my stitch right there. All right. Okay, let me ask y'all something. Should I weave these ends as I go? Or should I wait and let Poppy do it when I'm finished? I'll do a little bit. Let's see. I don't like it when this yarn wants to split at the ends. There. There we go. Let's go down this side. And then up the other side. Can y'all believe that this thing is finally on its way to becoming a blanket? I thought I would never finish. I really, I was starting to get real tired of making squares. And I love granny squares. I believe your vote would be for Puffy's assistant. Oh dear Jane, you know me too well. Um, I was just really getting tired of this thing. But I got a new and I'm newly energized now that we're on to the basically one of the last steps. You know, all I have to do after this is put a border on it. And I think honestly, all I'm going to do, uh, I'm deciding what to do. How's that? Okay, on to the next. Um, I thought about just putting a double crochet border all the way around. I know God's desire. When it all starts to come together, it's like a symphony, isn't it? Oh, thank you, Jane Doe. I hope so. I hope so. I had a vision, you know, and I'm not saying I'm the first one that's ever thought of doing something like this. Um, but I just thought it would be so pretty. And you know what's so funny? The other day I was looking on Facebook and I found a blanket pattern for something kind of similar to what I'm doing right now, but it was a lot more fancy. What they did was they put the squares on the diagonal like this, and then they did granny square stripes in between on the diagonal. And it was like, it was really a pretty blanket, but In that blanket pattern, they used the same color throughout. Um, just like you're tired of that sweater. I'm about to seam up the body and sleeves and put the collar on. Well, shoot, you're almost done, God's desire. Here I am trying to crochet the tail end. Why do I do that? Um, okay, no, that's got to come out. I have not had hardly any sleep today, y'all. I got up at midnight 30. I stayed up most of the day. I did take about a 2-hour nap. And just when I got to sleeping really good, I mean, like, sleeping like the dead, the phone rang. I said, well, should I answer it? Because at first I didn't think it was, I thought I was dreaming that the phone was ringing. I was not. So I answered it. It was a friend, um, you know, and I got to talk to her for a few minutes. And then, of course, I couldn't go back to sleep after that. It was over. Well, I don't know. It was close to 6 o'clock, and I asked the kids what they wanted to eat. And my daughter said, "Don't worry about it, Mom. I'll take care of dinner. Uh, why don't you go lay down?" I said, "Well, will you make sure I'm awake in about an hour and a half?" And she said, "Yes." So that's what she did. And then she went to Subway and she got me a Subway sandwich, which I thought was really, really nice. Yes, close to the finish line. Hey, Chris, how are you doing tonight? I'm making this granny square blanket, and I am seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. Look, now y'all know when I get halfway through putting this thing together, I'm going to get tired of it again, right? Right now, I got energy and I'm excited. Once I get about 4 rows in, I'm going to say, "Woof, can I ever be finished with this?" So, are you cold, Chris? Is it cold up there? We're getting a little bit of relief from the cold down here. In fact, I'm going to venture to say that we might be out of the woods now. We might have just had, that's baloney. We didn't just have our last cold snap. Easter's in April this year, and we are going to have another one. I just know it. Always happens that way. Where is my, there it is. You took a nap from 1 this afternoon. Then the alarm went off to pick up the boy at the end of the driveway since he's wearing a boot at the moment. I grilled steaks, taters, cauliflower, garlic, onions, and lemon. Goodness gracious, Chris. That sounds like an absolute feast. What'd your boy do to his foot that he's got to wear a boot? Look, y'all, look, look. Okay, get back on focus. Get back on focus. Oop. Okay, I'll weave the ends in. Um, y'all, there's so much cat hair on here. I'm gonna have to put it in the washing machine. I've got some dryer sheets that attract pet hair, and they really work pretty good. So I'll be glad to throw this in the washing machine and get all this cat hair off. Of course, there's probably a lot of my hair in here too. Hey, Izzy, how are you doing this evening? Good to see you. Not doing okay today. Had to turn off all the heat in the shop and open. Oh my goodness, it was 75. Well, that's kind of what happened here in my house. A couple of hours ago, I was sitting in the living room and I knew I was uncomfortable, but I didn't know exactly why. And then all of a sudden it dawned on me, I'm hot. Well, I went and checked on the thermostat and it was 79 degrees in my house. That's the truth. Hey, Jackie. Um, so yeah, it it's starting to warm up, but look, it ain't over. I keep telling everybody, don't start planting yet. I know you want to, but don't do it yet. At least wait till middle March. And I think I may be waiting a little bit longer. Well, my garden's all tore up. In fact, my garden is deceased. Um, we are replacing everything in it with all the beds. We built them from wood 5 years ago, and the termites got them. So we are replacing everything with metal beds. Well, this isn't taking as long as I imagined it would. Don't trust the weather. I'm not putting my precious babies. I'm not either, God's desire, because I know what's about to happen. We're going to have us a blackberry winter and get a freeze probably within 2 weeks of April. If not a freeze, a very, very cold snap within 2 weeks of Easter. Y'all, I missed the Mardi Gras parade. I wanted to go film it and put it up for y'all, and and do you know why I missed it? Because my son wasn't in the Mardi Gras parade this year. Because he's otherwise engaged at another school for not behaving. So I missed it. Now there's other ones around here, but the one in my town is the most decent. And believe me, they get real rowdy and risque at the other ones. And I don't like to go to those. People are showing all their business and act, just being drunk and I don't like that environment at all. Not at all. I'm glad they're having fun, but it keeps me from having fun. You tell everybody around there if you plant before Mom's Day, you're going to get hit. Well, yeah, and you're a little further north than us, so yeah, I get that. Um, I did that once. Y'all, it was beautiful in February that year. Warm. We didn't have hardly any winter. In fact, that Christmas I was wearing shorts and turning the air conditioner on while I was cooking Christmas dinner. Um, I put my tomatoes out February the 27th, and within a week and a half, they were all dead. Thankfully, I had saved some back and I was able to replant. But boy, did I feel stupid. I really did. Listen to Dinah. Do y'all hear her barking out there? God, she's such a big mouth. Hey, long cool woman. Easter planting is the saying here, but really one could grow all year. Well, and that's the way it is here too. Because I'm in South Mississippi, And we can grow all year long, really. It just depends. You just got to know what to plant. If you want to put sugar snap peas out in February, go for it. It'll be great. Or, collard greens or beets or some of that cool weather stuff. Um, but I wouldn't be putting no tomatoes out in February, not ever again. Never again. Usually, if we have an early Easter, my planting date, as long as Easter's in March, my planting date is March the 7th for my tomatoes. Um, if Easter's in April, everything goes out the window because nobody knows what's about to happen, except that it's going to get cold. No, you don't know if it's going to freeze or just be a cold snap, or if it's going to be on Easter or 3 weeks before. But once we get that cold snap around Easter, within say 3 weeks of it, then we'll be okay. Mm. But anyhow, my garden looks terrible. It really does. I told Jackie today when I spoke to, I did a live stream earlier today, one of the vertical kind on the short shelf. And before that, Jackie had done a live stream, so we kind of ended up on each other's live streams. And um, I told her, I said, my garden is so destroyed, and it makes me sad every time I look out there at it. But then I know it's going to look better. Poppy's working really hard. It took him a long time to take out all the beds and move all of the dirt. We had to remove all of it. And we were hanging on to it because, it's usable soil. Um, I'm not going to get rid of it and start over with my soil. My goodness, do you know how many years worth of rabbit poop I've got in there? I ain't getting rid of that. Stuff's like gold. So we've got it all along the sides of the garden where it's going to be, in big old containers and old beds and old kitty swimming pools and um there, and just trying to preserve it, until we can. Next weekend, the plan is to start putting in the posts for the fence that's going around it and getting the fence put up. That's the plan. Now, this weekend the weather did not cooperate at all. We had so much rain all day Sunday. I mean all day. So that was a little unfortunate. But now Saturday was a good day to work. Your greenhouse looks terrible, but chives, oregano, and thyme's taken off. Oh, that sounds wonderful. I've got to get some herbs in the ground. I want some dill, and I've got chives, and they're actually in the ground. They're doing pretty good. My rosemary's doing pretty good. Um, or it will be once it's not dormant anymore. Hey, Terry. Um, but I need to get some herbs. Definitely. I want different varieties of basil out there. That's the goal. And I want some oregano. I'm not a huge fan of oregano. Y'all don't stone me to death. Wait a minute, this is not right. Okay. I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. You have about 2 tons of rabbit poo. I'm thinking I'm gonna take a year off from the rabbits. I'm building a new coop. Oh, good. I still have some of the rabbit poo, but my rabbits died. And it was time. They were old, and they don't live too long. I mean, they live a while, but and those little ones, they don't. I don't think they live near as long as the big ones. But oh, gee. Um, but they met their maker, and they did a lot of good for my garden and for me. What you got? Garlic chives too? God, I can't hardly see. There. I'm going to bring this light over here. How's that? Is that bothering? Nope, that's good. Okay. Um, so look, I've got some yarn here that I want. God's desire, you might be able to help me out with this too. I've got a bulky weight cotton. It's Mako cotton. I got it from Little Knits, and the name of it is Nimbus Paints from Juniper Moon Farm. And it came in a package of 5 of these for and there's 820 yards total. And they're all the skeins look different, but they're all the same because the inside looks like the outside of this. The inside of this is the outside of this. It just depends on how they're wound up. But here's another one. And this is the softest, most wonderful yarn I think I've ever touched. It feels like cotton balls almost, except, well, it's just wonderful yarn. Um, it looks like it could be chain spun real loosely. It might not be. Yes, it is. This is chain spun yarn. And I like that. But I'm trying to figure out a top or like an overshirt sweater type thing to make with it that I can do it with 820 yards of yarn. I'm afraid I won't have enough. So, if you have any ideas about a pattern I could use, please either email it to me at gulfcoastgranny@gmail.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at Gulf Coast Granny on Instagram. Um, Thank you, long cool woman. It is pretty, isn't it? It is. Um, well now, not Terry, Chris, I've heard that onion chives can be um well, not poisonous, but can give you upset stomach. Is that true or not? Anybody know how to decipher this into English? Well, I would like to do a V-neck top. That would be great, but it's going to have sleeves in it because I really don't like the tops of my arms showing. So at least a elbow length sleeve, and I want it loose because I don't like tight clothing. So there's that. Sorry about that, Chris. I know I'm talking a little bit technical for you. I know most gentlemen don't understand this yarn talk. Of course, some gentlemen do. There's lots of men out there that like to crochet or knit and know a boatload more than I know. And I've been doing this 50 years. Can you believe that? Um, so yeah, there's that. But yeah, I would love just like a little overshirt, something short. I wear a lot of those one-piece jumpsuit things that are kind of loose fitting, and a lot of them are a tank top style. And I always am trying to find some kind of shirt to go over it so that I'm not showing my arms. And there's nothing wrong with my arms. I just don't like to show them off. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. Um, it was just how I was raised, I guess. But something a little short waisted would be really cool. Now, if you want to talk about ohms voltage, I know you are. I know you are, Chris. We might have to talk about some ohms and voltage. What would cause my air conditioner to shock the dog? I think it's not grounded good anymore, and I don't know what could something make it not be grounded anymore? Just curious. Or does that mean my electrical system is bad and I need somebody to maybe I need somebody to come out here and look at it. You know, the landlord owns my house as an electrical contractor, so he should be able to take care of it. I need to call him. I just haven't yet. But the last thing I need is for one of these kids to get out there and get shocked or, you know. Yeah, we're not going to talk about all the what ifs. Bad neutral or bad ground. Okay. Well, what causes that? I mean, it's just old age, or is it something that we've done, or is it just a freak of nature? I don't know. Shoot. Hey, Mona, how are you doing tonight? One, two, three, four, five. Oh, Lord. Okay, they're all going the right direction. That's good. So you do buy yarn, huh, Chris? I figured you might. You know why? Because you do all kinds of crafty stuff. Don't you do wood stuff too? Could have sworn I remembered you doing woodworking, wood engraving, something like that. Um, Come on, Poppy. You got to do better than that. Oh dear. I might have to struggle a little bit with Poppy weaving in these ends. He did it through the tops of my stitches on this one. Well, I guess I'm going to have to wing it. Let's see what happens. So this is the first stitch right here, and there. And the rest is a mystery. I don't know how the heck he's done this. Jeez. Okay. Y'all, I've got to get up and get that dog. She is going to lose her mind out there if she hadn't already. Come on, get in here. Good girl. Good girl. All right. Mm. Well, now that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Thanks, Chris. So I guess I need to call the landlord. God, I hate doing that. He's a nice man and all. He's the best landlord I've ever had in my whole life. Um, but I still hate to bother him, but it's necessary. Actually, this will be in 5 years. This will be the third time I've ever called him for a problem in this house. The first time it was the stove went out. He brought me another one within 20 minutes. Um, the second time was an electrical problem. Uh, one of the breakers was about to burn up, and it was causing the lights to flicker. And then it started causing the refrigerator to go on and off and on. I said, something's wrong. So I called. He said, you're right. Something's wrong. And it wasn't an hour later, he had the breaker replaced and everything was wonderful. So he doesn't raise our rent. He's raised our rent one time in 5 years by $100. And I was okay with that. Um, Especially with the housing market and the rent market the way it's going all across the country. I feel lucky that I pay a reasonable amount of rent. Well, hello there, Janice Urfer. I hope I said that right. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Um, but yeah, he'll be out here if I call him tomorrow. I don't know who the genius was that decided to put my air conditioning unit right next to the water spigot, but I would love to have it moved. And if I buy this place, that's one of the first things I want to do. Oh, good, I said it right. Thank you. Look at me go. Well, I'm tired. How are you doing, my dear? Are you working tonight? Excuse me. Well, that's not the prettiest one I've done yet, but you can't tell it because it's black and it'll all mix together eventually. That's what I want to get a black fence for my garden. Because black just recedes into the landscape and it's barely noticeable. Um, yeah, you're working. Um, Chris said, I told my buddy this morning this is why I keep 4 spare breakers, pipe fittings, receptacles, etc. Yeah, my husband's a hoarder of electronic things. He's not an electrician, he's an electronics tech. And dear God, the wires we have, and the connectors, and the uh, tools, and meters, and stuff we've got, it's ridiculous. He's a hoarder, just the same. I get so tired of looking at it sometimes. However, he did teach Violet one year for a science experiment how to make electricity from a potato. So I guess it come in handy with all those parts that he had. Because Sunday night at 8 isn't the time to be trying to find. No, it is not, is it? Goodness. Or on a holiday, you know, New Year's Eve at 10 o'clock at night. I bought black hardware cloth to cover the coop. That was a great idea. I bet you can see the chickens real well. Um, well, one of the reasons I want the black welded wire fencing is because I want a black gate to go out there too. I think it's going to be pretty when it's done. And I'm going to put a top cap around it. And that way I can hang pretty little garden stuff from the gate. And I don't know. I've got a vision for it. I don't know if it's going to pan out exactly the way the vision looks, but I think it'll be close. There, that's that one. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Y'all, my nose is itching like crazy. Mm. Oh, doggy life. No, I didn't see. I'm looking for. Which question, dear? Could you please do it again? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm switching views here because I got to give my hands a break. I'm pondering painting the wood purple, a bit of brightness in the pretty parts of winter. I had a purple chicken coop. I sure did. I was. Oh, honey, I'm fine. Thank you. How are you, Izzy? I'm doing great. Um, I'm just I'm ready for spring to get here, and I'm ready to get this project done. I'm gonna get, my hands are just really sore from crocheting solid just about for 3 weeks, and I'm having to give myself a little bit of a break and stretch my hands and you know, stretch my arms because if not, they'll my shoulder has been hurting. And this morning I woke up and my fingers were so stiff and my thumb was hurting. And I've got the trigger thumb where it gets stuck sometimes. It's not acting up right now, but if it does start acting up, I won't be able to crochet at all. I'll have to wear a brace. You want spring too? I think everybody's ready for spring this winter. I really do. Just don't want to go to. Yeah. Well, now my chicken coop now is not forest green. It's more like I'm thinking it's a brighter green, like spring green or grass green. Um Terry, that's wonderful. Terry says he's going to open a barbecued food trailer. That is good. Oh, and are you going to do your Madwood taters? What do they call them? What do you call them? Mad taters? Oh, crap. I can't remember now. I went outside a little while ago. It smells like spring. I could even hear frog. Oh, really? We had a lot of rain yesterday and it was drizzly this morning, but I haven't been out there this evening. Mad tater, that's it. That's it. I'm smoking an 8-pound pork butt tomorrow. That sounds good too. I'm not smoking nothing. You know what? My family will be lucky if I even cook this week. I've kind of been on strike. Um, am I going to join you in donating hats for the vets? I will. Tell me about it, Mona. I sure will. Tell me how many and where they need to be and when. So Terry, are you having to go through a lot of hoops to get permits and stuff like that to open your food truck? Because here where I live, guess what? There's a city ordinance that doesn't allow food trucks here in Long Beach. Now that's where you want to live, ain't it? A place that won't allow you to make a living. But my daughter's running for the city council, so maybe she'll have a little bit of impact if she wins, right? Maybe she can change that ordinance. I'm alive. Right now, I'm really depressed and need spring weather to come back. And I'm currently really nauseous and having stomach shooting pains. I'm so sorry, Izzy. I am so sorry. What do you think's causing your stomach pain? Please don't say appendicitis. It is a little different, bone tired. I mean, I like it here. But if I was try a business owner, I I would probably go somewhere else. We had, in fact, here's a little for instance. We had a small little barbecue place down the road, and they didn't have a huge menu, and it was a place where they didn't have tables or anything, but it was a little building, and you walked in, and when you walked in, there was a counter, and you could order your barbecue there, and they had these wonderful potatoes, big taters like this, and they would fill them full of either barbecue pork, or barbecue brisket, and then they'd put sour cream and cheddar cheese, and dear God, it was delicious. Then barbecue sauce. Well, you could put your own barbecue sauce on if you wanted. You could order it on the side. That's what I did because I don't like a lot, but I like a little bit. And oh yeah, Izzy, that's bad. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that. So anyhow, let me tell you about potatoes. I'll get back to that in a minute. Um, anyhow, potatoes were great. You could get pork plates, beef plates. Um, they came with all the fixings. But the other part of the store, other than the counter, was set up like a little tiny grocery market. And they had all these very unique vegetables. Like before Walmart got the little potatoes in the bags, the different colored ones, this place had them. Um, anything you wanted. They would have exotic fruits in there, like star fruits and things you just don't see every day. Um, they had refrigerator section with um berries, like strawberries and blueberries and all the things that were in season at that time, um, whatever part of the year you went in there. And hey, Felicia, how are you doing? Um, so anyhow, this place was open for about a year. It was fan freaking tastic. Me and Poppy went all the time to pick up dinner and bring it home for the kids and all of that. They ended up closing after a year because this community does not support local business. And apparently they just folded because they weren't getting enough patrons. And I thought it was such a crying shame because there's no reason that a restaurant that was that good should have to go out of business. These people around here should have been flocking to that restaurant. But because, Bone Tired, you'll relate to this, because it wasn't full of crawfish and po' boys, nobody wanted anything to do with it. Just saying. And from a non-native perspective, crawfish and po' boys ain't all the end all and be all. So anyhow, I'll get off my soapbox. On the other end of the spectrum, where there's no government involved, we have white supremacy groups moving in and buying up land. Yes, setting one place up right across from the. Oh gosh. Well, And then there's that side of it. Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm running into in this town. I think you have to message her for the address. Let's see. Hang on. Okay, Mona. I got to go back and look because I was fellow crocheter named Jeanette needs 4,000, and you're not sure where to send it yet. Okay, okay. We'll figure that part out. Um, Crafty Annie is gonna ship the hat. Okay. Um, so is the info in Crafty Annie's channel? I think you have to message her for the address. Okay. You do know what I mean, don't you, Bonfire? Felicia, how are you doing? Are you doing? Um, yeah, well, a fresh po' boy. Look, there ain't nothing in the world better than a fried oyster po' boy once in a while. But when you see them at every single restaurant that you go to, it starts to get old real quick. I'm just saying. I said what I said. Um, okay. I think I got to the end. Oh, I'm tired. That is absolute genius. I didn't know they made a pacemaker like that for gastroparesis. That is that is really genius. Um, I think my cats just tore down the shower curtain in the bathroom. I mean, I can't see what's going on in there, but ask me how I know what that sounds like. You don't like fried oysters? Oh my lord! Well, what about a shrimp po' boy or a roast beef po' boy? Now I like a roast beef po' boy because they just smear that gravy all over it, and it's the messiest stinking sandwich you ever seen in your life. Oh, Felicia, I've got 99 total. It's going to be 9 squares across and 11 squares long. And each square is 7.5 inches across and down. Um, I'll eat up some fried shrimp. Don't like oysters. Oh, you don't like oysters either? I don't prefer them fried. I really prefer them steamed, but I'll eat them fried. Long Cool Woman said, I'm working on a granny square cardigan right now. Almost done making the squares. Kind of designing it as I go. No pattern. That is so neat. You know what? I'm going to write your channel down. Do you put your stuff up on your channel? Or do you have an Instagram? Because I would like to see that when you're done with it. Truly. Okay, I done lost something. What fell on the ground? Oh, Bee Gees. There you go. It's my crochet hook. It went for a ride. Okay, here we go. Grew up with oyster fries as a kid. I eat oysters one way. Okay. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. We all like what we get used to, Chris. Um, I haven't yet, but will. No Instagram. Well, good. I'm looking forward to it. You know what? Give me one. I can't do that right now because if I do, It's going to echo. I just started a project that Granny Squares only have 5 done. Not sure how many I need yet. You know, I didn't know how many I needed either until till I got to 80. Because I thought I was going to be slick and make this 8 squares across and 10 squares long. Well, come to find out that wasn't big enough. So then I had to go figure some more, and I figured 9 by 11 was plenty. I learned to eat oysters as an adult. Hated that. Oh, I didn't care when I was a child. No way. No way. Um, Long Cool Woman, that would be so nice if you could share it when you're finished. That I love seeing other folks' projects completed and in progress. Um, oh, Terry's fighting a bad toothache right now. Yeah, get you some clove oil, or just get you a clove and stick it back there. You know, like in your gum, like between your tooth and your jaw. That'll help. I mean, it won't cure it. The only thing that's gonna cure it is fixing it or getting it yanked out of there. So, you might want to call them. Is it on the top or the bottom? You make your own infused oils, Terry? Not Terry. Chris. I'm sorry. It does work real well to numb it. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Um, I wished I'd have known that when I had wisdom tooth troubles back in the day. But I didn't know anything about that then. Of course, I was just young and dumb back then, you know. Okay. I was really hoping. It don't matter what I was hoping. I'm thinking about what should I do? Should I put all my rows together first and then sew all the rows together? Or should I do a row, do another row, sew them together, and then do another row and sew them together? Huh. Well, that's a good question, isn't it? I guess we'll see what I decide later. Um, oh, I do, Long Cool Woman. It's just GulfCoastGreenie@gmail.com. You've never made any content yet, so it'll be a first. That is going to be so much fun for you. Um, and don't be scared, okay? Don't be scared. Just do it. Just do it. You got to take the bull by the horns sometimes and just do it. Wait, I think I might be stealing somebody's somebody's trademark saying here. Nike, I'm sorry. Don't sue me. Or Long Cool Woman, are you going to make a shorts video or like a long form content? Um, Dentists don't do much anymore. Lots of referrals. Yes, that's the truth. That's the truth. Of course, Felicia, I have to admit, I love my dentist, and he takes really good care of me, and he's done a lot of work for me. Um, Last year, in fact, I was at the dentist every 2 weeks for like 5 months getting work done. Um, oh, I would definitely do long form content. Um, and then what I would do if I were you now, I'm not, but you can make your own decisions. You can chop that long form video up into shorter videos and post those on the short shelf. And that will probably help you a lot if you do it that way. Um, I'm not an expert at this. God knows I'm not. I've only got, what, 2,100 subscribers or so. And I've been at this for about 5 years. Now, I did take some time off, a really long time off, probably close to 2 years off. I had to, I have a grandson who's a special needs little boy, and he got kicked out of daycare, and then he got kicked out of preschool. And so I ended up having to watch him for a while until he could get into regular school. But you know what, y'all? He's doing so good. He really is. He's gets more words every day, and his behavior has just made a phenomenal turnaround since he is now able to communicate a little better. Um, I just love seeing all of his accomplishments. I really do. You know, it don't matter. I mean, I understand what, yeah, but doing the shorts will help you build your community. Also doing live streams helps you build a community. He does a little bit, Felicia, but he's not super good at it. In fact, at this point, he can kind of talk better than he can sign. So there's that. But he's doing amazingly well compared to this time, say last year or 2 years ago. Um, and I'll have you know, he would bite and kick and scream and act a fool at school and hit his teachers and hit the other kids, and but he never did none of that stuff here at my house. And I know a lot of parents with special needs kids hear that all the time. Um, well, I don't know why you're having it such a hard time. He doesn't do that with me. Well, no, he don't do that with me because he knows that I'm temporary. I'm just granny. He can do what he wants with mom and dad or teachers because he has to see them all the time. You know. I ain't working. Oh, hang on a minute. Let me go back a little bit. My first video is like 10 years old or some mess. I have 300 subs. Chris, that's hilarious. Yeah, but you don't post a whole lot either. Um, he's nonverbal, but he signs. That's so good. School is, oh no. Had to go to the bathroom. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Izzy. Good evening, Yankee Call. How are you doing this evening? Didn't I just see you? Yankee Kyle, how is your channel going? I see you posting lives every now and every now and then I pop in and just listen. I don't say much because I don't know anybody in there, you know. But I do go and listen every now and then and throw a like up there. Um, School told my parents I shouldn't have been in school because I was bored at high school level. You know what? My delinquent son, he was in the gifted program from all in elementary school all the way till he got to the 7th grade. And then the discovery program, which is what they call the gifted program here, ended. And now he's in high school and he just got a 504 plan. So he's what they might call twice exceptional. But they informed me at the 504 meeting or the IEP. It's when they determine we were at the meeting to determine whether they were going to test him for an IEP or if they were going to give him accommodations just to make him a little more successful. Well, they determined that he didn't have the educational or cognitive need for educational testing, but they did find that he did have a need for supports to get him through high school, which is what I had been trying to do for him since the 4th grade, and they kept refusing. So there's that. But I had a lot of data this time for them to make the decision with. So um, yeah, I'm just sorry that it took so long to get supports for him. But anyhow, I told him the other day, he's got ADHD and he's been taking this medicine for like 3 years and it don't help at all. And he said that he don't like the way it makes him feel, blah, blah, blah. Hey, Michelle, welcome in tonight. Thank you for coming. Um, so we took him off of it back in November. And he's been doing school since November at the special school for delinquents. And uh, his grades have not improved, but I didn't expect him to because he does not. Okay, so at this alternative school, they put them in front of a computer. They email their teachers for their assignments. It's kind of like homeschooling during COVID, where you didn't have any supervision. Now he's got a teacher in the classroom to prevent people from, getting rowdy and out of control, because there's only like 10 or 12 kids in the whole class. But there's no teacher in there to teach them the material. They have to teach it themselves, teach it to themselves. What am I doing? Y'all can't even see my hands. So anyhow, we got him this 504 plan, and since he's not in the classroom yet, we have no idea if it's even going to help him. If he can get back in the regular classroom, it will. He was supposed to be back in the regular classroom on Friday, but because he has zeros in classes and he hasn't made up his work yet, he can't leave. So he's a little bit stranded. So tonight, when he got home from school, I made him sit in here at the table until it was about 8 o'clock, doing all of his makeup work. And now he only has 3 makeup assignments to do, and he'll be finished. But every day that goes by, they're just adding more and more and more assignments. So yeah, I was out of the military and an electrical superintendent by 25. That's pretty amazing, Chris. That is pretty darned amazing. I was always in college prep. I was a year younger than everyone else. Finished high school. I used to ASVAB. He did too. He took the ASVAB recently, and they keep calling my house, blowing up my phone. Finished a 2-year tech course. Look at him. Wow, that's amazing. He wants to be in the automotive program next year at the school. So I said, do it. I don't care. So we just picked his classes this week. And we picked band, the automotive. Do you know this boy has such a hard time in math? He always has struggled in math. That's his one thorn in his side, really. And they're trying to encourage him to take Algebra 3. I said, boy, you couldn't even pass geometry, and they want you to take Algebra 3. I said, first of all, you only need 4 credits of math. After this Algebra 2's over this semester, you're done with math. You're not taking math next year. You're not going to make me crazy. Charlotte, back in my day, I got homework. I know, Yankee Kyle. I get it. I get it. Well, like I told him, I was talking about the ADHD medicine and how it's not helping. And he wanted to come off of it. I said, you know what? If you want to come off of it, come off of it. I don't care. I said, one thing I do know is there is not a pill to make you give a you know what. So that's the truth. They have to care. They have to want to do the work. They have to decide to do the work. They have to be motivated enough at 16 years old to want to do something for themselves. And I told him, I said, I have held your hand your whole life. It's time for me to quit holding your hand all the dang time. I said, I'm trying to teach you how to be a man and how to be grown up. So that's what we're going to do. And come what may, um, thing I have found is people that are always stuck in their head need their hands. That's right. And you know what? That's where he does best is with his hands. He really does. He's a wonderful artist. He um he plays those drums like nobody's business. He likes working on the car with his daddy. He wants to learn how to weld. You know, I did, Chris, I grew into the math. It took me till I was in my second year of college. I had a professor at college, and one day the light bulb just went on. It was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I struggled with this all those years. It was, and I fully attribute it to having an instructor who explained it so I could understand it, is the best way I could explain it. Um, and he also made me want to learn it. Or maybe I was just ready to learn it. I was older, and yeah. Well, there's my first row, y'all. And it's going to be a long one. It is supposed to be big enough eventually to cover a full-size bed, but it's starting to look like it might cover a queen-size bed. But that's okay. I hated math till I went to nursing school. Had a concrete use for algebra. It finally made sense, right? Right? Um, I keep telling my son, look, every single one of those math problems is like its own little mystery that you have to figure out. Figure it out. Math, DJ said math was his favorite subject until algebra. I hated math, but electrical school made me realize how it actually useful in real life. Exactly, it is useful in real life. Yep. Goodness, being a carpenter will teach you how useful it is to in real life. Being a cabinet maker, anything. Um, and I know, basic math is different than algebraic math, which is different from well, it's kind of similar to calculus, but not. Um, but each thing builds upon the next. And if you learn all the rules, you can do the problems. It's just that simple. Math is math. And the rules never change. And that's what I love about math. It's not like English where you have 14 million different rules and then some places want to add their own. Like, okay, for instance, back in my day when we were in school, all of us old folks here, remember when you were making a sentence, I like cotton candy, sweet tea, and barbecue. And you would put cotton candy, comma, sweet tea, comma, and barbecue, right? They don't do that anymore. They don't do that. They leave that last comma out. I don't know why they do that. I never learned it that way. So I still use it. It's called an Oxford comma. I don't know why it's called that, but it is. Um, all kinds of neat things. Now, when you text, if you punctuate, you're being rude or something. I don't even understand that. Okay, so that's what I love about it, Felicia. It is. It's like a puzzle. You didn't understand it till university. Yeah, yeah. One of my sons had and still has ADHD. He hated school, but excelled in carpentry and cabinet making. What's he doing now? He owns a music store in Starkville. Hey, that's what I love about ADHD. You get to explore all of the things that you love to do. um, Electrical is mostly geometry and a bit of algebra. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Um, why did they do that? I mean, I think my Oxford comma still makes more sense. I really do. Well, the math ain't math anymore. Now it's cool. But it is. Chris, it is. It really is. Okay, let me give you a for instance. Common Core math teaches children to think of math in a bunch of different ways. For instance, if I go to the store, and I'm going to use round numbers here, there's $100 thing on sale for 35% off. Well, how am I going to get that 35% off? Am I going to multiply 100 by 65? Am I going to, or 0.65, excuse me, am I going to multiply it by 0.35 and then subtract that total from 100? Or am I going to do it in my head and say, well, 30% or 60% of 100 is 60? And how do I get 5%? Let's see. So 10% of 100 is 10. So half of that is 5. So I'll pay $65. You see what I mean? That was 4 different ways that I got the same answer for 35% off of 100. And that's what um, Common Core math does. It teaches children those different ways. Um, however, with that being said, if they would just teach children the way to do math, the rules, eventually they would be able to come to those conclusions themselves. And yes, if you use punctuation in a text message, it's considered argumentative. Yeah, argumentative. Can you believe that? Um, One problem with 8845 and unfinished. Look, look, y'all. Don't laugh. Do not laugh. Okay. Do you see all that stuff over there? Those are my unfinished projects. Oh my goodness. I have a craft room with a Cricut, 2 printers, 2 heat presses, over 200 rolls of vinyl, a closet full of shirts, etc., and all kinds of wood projects. Nope, just 0.65. That's what, see, now that's what I would do, um, Chris. But it can be done all of those ways, and that's what they want the kids to know for whatever reason. I hate how you feel too, Izzy. I absolutely do. Yeah, I'm busted. You should have seen. Oh my gosh. It was like yarn had exploded in my entire house. Okay? Exploded. And it was driving me insane. So I started going around picking up balls of yarn. Well, I had ordered 10 vacuum seal bags a couple of weeks ago. And that ain't yarn math, seed math, or there is a difference, Felicia. I agree with you. And Amazon is not an ADHD hobby addict's friend, but no, it is not. But anyhow, so I start putting this yarn in these bags that I've got back here. This is nothing compared to what it looked like this weekend. Um, I went through everything. I touched every ball of yarn in this house. Every ball. I either threw it out, I donated it, or I kept it. Kids don't need to know math now, but if their phone ever dies, they will be in trouble, won't they, dear? I just got a message from who? From what? Sucklebuster's Rubs about using their product on our food. Well, go on and do it, Terry. I mean, if you like their product. If you don't, then tell them to pack salt. Mm. See, now I've only ordered from Temu one time, and I got a bunch of stupid stuff. And the only thing that I actually remember what I got and I use it is this little basket that fits across the sink. And I put my silverware in it to keep it from being in the bottom of the dishpan. And so I don't stab myself with a knife or the forks and all that stuff when I'm doing dishes. And I like it. I like it. And actually, it's not for the silverware. It's for your, I guess, washing vegetables, or maybe you can put your sponges in it so they dry and they don't get yucky and that kind of stuff. But I use it for the silverware. It leaves my seed and chicken math alone. Y'all, that is too funny. God, that's funny. You won't order from Temu? I used my PayPal to order from Temu. My yeah, because well, it goes through my. You know how PayPal does the roundabout? Well, that's how I did it. I think I did it that. Maybe I did it. It's been so long ago I can't remember, but I know I didn't use my main account to order from Temu because I was scared to. But so many people order from them and have not had any problems. So I don't know. I don't know. I better get back to work on this thing, huh? It's time for stack two. Now, look, y'all, I'm probably not going to be finished with this tonight, just so you know. It is kind of iffy, and I understand your apprehension. I really do, especially with all the rumor stuff about um, TikTok and all the stuff coming from that area of the world, you know. Um, Me too. That way I can get my money back. That's right. It's a cheap way to see if I actually like the crap before I dive headlong into it. Right, right. I understand. I understand. Thank you, Miss Jane Doe. I appreciate that. Um, each row is going to be a little different. And I wish that I had the camera capabilities to show y'all everything as it's being done, but I just really do not. Now, if you will have all of your friends and family subscribe to my channel and watch my videos and make me rich, then I'll have the hint, hint. But Mama was asking me yesterday if we need to place a BC seed order this year. Then 3 to 500 the last few years. Holy Moses, you don't need any more seeds. Just use what you got. That's what I'm doing this year. I'm ordering 4 things from Baker Creek. 4. Um, that's it. They are in my basket right now. I hope that they're not out of them by the time I order them on Friday. Um, that part. Look, you know who I envy? And I shouldn't envy these people, but I kind of do. All those YouTubers who have a team to take care of them and to edit their videos for them and to do their filming for them and to make sure everything's where it ought to be for them. I kind of envy that a little bit. Am I wrong for that? I mean, I do have Poppy to help me weave in ends on my crochet, so I guess I shouldn't covet those people's YouTube staff. So, I'm blessed. Blessed. Um, hey, Charlotte, I can't get my family to watch my video. Chris, I totally get it. I have to beg mine to watch. Now, I will say that every time I do a live stream, Poppy will, even if he's sleeping, like before he goes to sleep, like tonight, he probably turned on the live stream so that I would get the view. And he's probably still got it on, but he's snoring. And he does that every time I do a live stream. But he don't chat and he don't, you know, try to participate, but he does watch. Hey Mike, how are you doing? It is nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Oh, the dude tells you you have a booger. Do I have a booger? That is so funny. Oh goodness gracious, y'all. Well, you know what? This is the God's honest truth. I was kind of dreading doing this live stream tonight because I think because I'm so tired from not having any sleep. But I'm glad I did. Y'all have really um, made it worth doing, and I appreciate that so much. Because Lord knows, some days are diamonds, and some days ain't. Today was a rough day. And it's not that I overworked myself or anything like that. It was just a tough day for yeah. But let me get back to the moral of my story about the yarn. Well, not the moral, but the end. I ended up filling up 6 bags, 6 of those vacuum seal bags. 2 of them were jumbo size. 2 of them, no, the other 4 were medium size, and I have 2 left. Um, I'm saving one of them to vacuum seal some stuff I'm going to ship to my friend. But anyhow, point is, I feel so much lighter now that I have gotten my yarn stash under control. Um, I know where everything is. Um, the only thing that I struggle with now is the scrap yarn. Um, what I did was I got one of those under the bed totes. I have a lot of scrap yarn. Well, this blanket alone was 19 balls of yarn. Plus, 4 of these. Um, so I have leftover partial balls of yarn from this project. Some have more gone than others, but did you see that comma up there? I was down on my back and under my workbench by 7:30 this a.m. with drills and impact drivers. That's hilarious. I did see your comma, by the way. um, you know what, Felicia? It's amazing how much better I feel now that I have it organized and under control. And I was going to say that I took one of those under the bed totes and I put all of the scrap yarn balls in that and stuffed it under my bed. I will get to that later. I mean, I've had enough of organizing and all of that now. But I told my husband that once the garden's finished, the one thing I really want to do in this house is paint. We've been here 5 years and it's just time to refresh everything. And so my landlord don't mind if he don't care what I do to this place. So we're going to repaint probably every room in the house. Probably. So what I want to do before then, and this is what I said to Poppy, I said, we need to do some spring deep cleaning. Deep cleaning. Go through every closet, get rid of junk. Oh, no. Don't you dare. That was close, y'all. I almost cut an important thread. Or an important piece of yarn. So that's the project for the next few months, is just to clean, and then get it painted. And I think at that point, I will feel much better about where I live. And it's not that I like it here. Don't get me. He missed one, y'all. He missed one. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. I'm gonna have to get him for that, aren't I? Think I should let him sleep, or should I go in there and say, "What the devil have you done? You didn't get them all." I'm not gonna do that. That poor man gets up at 4:30 in the morning, go to work every day. I'm not waking him up. Um. Oh, I already saw that one. They say this little is very offensive, so you know what? They can kiss my left stuff. Chris, I know just what you mean. But I'm a granny, so I can't say everything I want to. Which one? The bright one or the blue one? Because I like them both. In fact, I just love all of my squares, y'all. Okay, right there. And right there. Need to go through your shit. Am I throwing a craving on you to go get some spring cleaning done? Y'all, I'm starting to get really tired and I think I'm fading a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this one piece here. And I think I'm gonna call it a night tonight, if y'all don't mind. But I was specifically talking about the blue one. Okay, yeah, I thought so. Okay. Um, I need to go to bed and get some good sleep tonight. And I think just to make sure that I do, I'm gonna take me some melatonin before I go to bed. Um, I've not slept good in probably 2 months. I'll tell you the truth. I've not slept good since I got back from Georgia back in December. Well, I've been shop cleaning and yard. Well, those are important things, Chris. So there's that. Do what makes you happy. Um, so if I get good sleep tonight, that will be a blessing. I just, I worry because I do a lot of my live streams late. And if my sleep gets back on track, when the heck am I going to live stream? Have no fear. If it does get back on track, it'll only be for a few days and then a week at the most. And then it'll go back to normal. So I'm not too worried about it. There. Not sleeping well. Need to get it to get. Felicia, I think it plagues all women of a certain age. I really, really do. I don't think any of us can escape it. Um, oh, gosh. Gosh. I took melatonin once, COVID day, slept for 4 days. Good grief. Look, when I first started having sleep problems, they gave me that stuff called Ambien. It worked the first night, and I slept real good. And then after that, it was like taking sugar pills. It did nothing for me. Nothing. Um, you know what, Bone Tired? I tell people all the time that menopause is the best thing that ever happened to me. It affects my sleep, and I do get night sweats, and sometimes I think that is what affects my sleep so much is because I wake up and I have to either take a shower or at least sponge off, and then I have to change my clothes, and sometimes I have to change the sheets because I just feel gross. And that that does you know take time, and then you're good and awake whenever you're finished. So I just and for me, once I wake up, I'm not one to just lay around in the bed and do nothing or try to talk myself into go back to sleep. I get up and I do stuff, and that's a bad thing. But you slept horribly last night. Was able to get a decent nap before work. Good, good. Um, but other than the sleep problems and the night sweats that I believe are contributing to it, um, I love menopause, and I'll tell you why. Um, I'm not a slave to my hormones anymore. I I was the poster child for PMDD, and I was crazy, crazy. I only had about 3 good days a month. And I'm glad that menopause has come around because I don't have to deal with that anymore. I don't get the migraine headaches anymore. I don't get the mood swings. Um I don't walk around here hating everybody anymore. And that's the way I felt that I did before that. So Bushcracker said, "Y'all can have that mess. I really think melatonin isn't something men should have introduced into their system." Almost like a woman taking testosterone. Jesus. Did it make a baby out of it? That's hilarious. Um, well, and see that isn't that crazy how it just affects some people's diff it affects everybody differently. Um, See now in my situation, my husband is a disabled veteran, so he takes some medication for PTSD, depression stuff. And one year they tried to start him on this Lexapro. It turned him into he was so mean and hateful. And I looked at him and I said, "Look here, you need to call your doctor tomorrow morning and you need to tell him that if he don't take you off that medication that's making you so mean, you're going to be in divorce court by the end of the week." I was not playing either. I was not playing because he was so mean. But they did. They finally put him on another medication, and it was okay. And the thing about Poppy is that goes against his nature so much. He's not a mean person. He doesn't have a mean bone in his body. So there's that. My daughter too. My daughter is being treated for PMDD. She's only 26. Her poor husband. Well, the only one of mine that has been diagnosed with it is the youngest. And God loved that youngest child of mine. Well, the youngest daughter. It seems like she's got beauty and brains, but she also got some of the worst parts of me and her dad both. I mean, she got my hormonal issues and she got his arthritic issues. And but one of these days she's going to be a great human. She's a great human now, but as she matures. Glad my better half has never been that moody type. She's been going through the change for 4 years now and still about the same. Good for her. That's wonderful. That is wonderful. So look, y'all, I'm gonna stop crocheting for the night and I'm gonna get myself some rest. I want to thank every one of you for coming in here and hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate y'all so much. We will be back next Monday at about 9 o'clock to do some more crochet. And hopefully by next Monday, I'll be putting the border on this thing. Now, I do some vertical live streams. I'm planning to do them on Wednesdays and Fridays, somewhere between 11 in the morning and noon. So y'all keep an eye out for that if you're interested. And then, of course, Saturday night, I alternate with Grumpus on Fire to do our live streams on Saturdays. I usually start around 9 or 10 o'clock. He starts later at 11. So, anyhow, I know y'all didn't write all that down, and that's okay. Turn on your notifications, subscribe to the channel, share it out. Y'all take care. I love you. Have a great evening, and I'll talk to you again real soon. All right.